And this one has no video camera. Do you have a video camera?
No, actually, it should just sign me out, meaning you tried to sign in, I guess.
Why is the video camera nameless? I don't know if anyone's hearing me, but we're having some technical issues, so please hang in there, please. Enable HD. There, touch my appearance. I'll just play. Having some technical issues, gang. I don't know if anyone's in here yet, but please hang tight. We seem to be experiencing operating difficulties. We'll be with you shortly.
Okay.
Well, we signed it together before, so you should be able to have it.
Darn. Okay. That you said there's no video there, right?
Uh-huh. You got video?
We are in. Join with video clear test.
There's nothing I can do. I can't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing is, hold on. If you start the meeting, just call that for a second. How's that, right?
Yes,
Wait a second now. Why does the screen on the left say Charles Richard? Both of them say it. Sign into that one. Please stand by, everyone. We're having some issues. We're going to put a T in front of it and turn to issues. Okay. Let's leave that one off because I don't see any reason that if we're going to. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Devon Thompson. I am here with your very one and only Charles Richard Zarelli.
Hey, everybody. How are you today? My name is Charles Richard Zarelli. It's a pleasure to be here. The reason why we're here, I'd like to talk some very serious business about America. I'm running for the President of the United States of our beautiful, beautiful country. I'd like to emphasize the word united, and united is huge. And I think that we have the ability to expand on this. So let's take it to the next level. So let's get right to business here. So we went over some things in yesterday meeting, and basically these are some of the topics. The key thing I'd like to talk of first is design. Design is very key for America. No one seems to be touching base on this or speaking of it. It has to be brought out. We're talking about people, earth, business. I think inequality for everything that we could think of in a wise dimension, making some good, strong business and some strong, wise heart to attach with it, because that allows a longevity. We don't see that today. So what do we got? So these are some of the topics, and we already have some of the polls in. So I'm going to read the topics, and then we'll go right to those choices that people had chose. A was defunding the police department and design is key. B, the pandemic and a remedy thought out. C, executive orders, many, many. Good versus bad, and how good design considers all fairly. D, why should a government be allotted and be more open, and how that benefits us, the people, together, as well as our country, as well as globally. Why am I turned off? Why am I turned on? This is good. It attaches with that. Do we have that in common? I'm here today. I have several different licenses, and I have a profound respect for people. That leads me to be willing to give up my personal life to take this dimension to the next step. And I intend to do this. Forgive me 1 second. I just like to have things a little bit better, and I just see my flags are not even behind me. So I'm just going to really adjust that. Thank you very much. I feel much better now. Thank you. About design. We also put a phone number on the website, time to join, TIMETOJOIN, time to join.us, all one word. The one thing that we have thought of, can you do me a favor if you don't mind, plug those 2 lights in? The one thing that we have thought of completely also is that a lot of people do not have a computer. So what we've done is we've arranged it so people have an ability to call in by their phone and to check our meetings out that way as well. So that we have been considerate to create that respect across the board, undoubtedly. So for the most part, let's go to the next step here. We had some technical issues, so we're just panning some things out in the background. We're on the plan B of this system because the first system had a video camera and there's nothing my technicians could have done. So we switched to another system. We have a couple of systems in the background. Once again, it's about design, and here I am right now. And so let's continue. Choice F, our weather, and why are we lucky geographically? G, our DNA for real. This is cool stuff. So that is alone interesting, because every one of your beautiful bodies, our DNA changes 10,000 times a day, each cell, and it has that many changes. And some of us have, probably maximum, some of us who might be doing other things a little minimum, but we are beautiful. That is one of my sayings, by the way. We are beautiful. What else do we have on our list here? Also, H, what is voter suppression and how it hurts our families, our commerce, our business, and our relations with each other as well as globally? I, the difference between doubling up versus doubling down. J, are we moving away from being human? Is this possible? K, did you read the Global Modern Resolution Plan of America on the main landing site of Charles Richard Zerilli, time to join.us? I'd like to give that to you again in case some of you missed it. So it's TIMETOJOIN. time to join us. So time to join .us. It's not a .com, it's a .us. So I have a global modern resolution plan of America, and it's on that. It has its own tab. It's very interesting, and it also starts off with integration of our very beautiful Declaration of Independence. And we had some background scenes and a picture of the flag with a quote from the Declaration. We had a whole bunch of this stuff. So now I'm going to go revert and go back to manual. I have a bunch of stuff with me right here. We're just going to keep moving on. When something doesn't work, you don't bail out. Like they say, the show must go on, and here I am. By the way, my name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the President of the United States. And I have a surprise coming up. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see. L, why should we want to have human design first? M, by design, what is Earth? I love science. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself for a moment. A couple of my licenses have the word master in it. I've been done, oh my gosh, the customer service, public service that I've done, tens of thousands of interactions and calls, literally in people's homes, at least tens of thousands of homes I've been in over a 40-year professional period. I have an excellent troubleshooting rating. I was called a couple of nicknames, and I don't have a big head over this, but A to Z, the doctor, Charles Earth, Charles Richard, Charles, of course. And the high percentage rate, and when I want to say this way, and I have to say my hand to God, any professional something that I've been on to date, professional, I was always the anchor. Although people couldn't find that answer, they brought me in. It was done. That's how I earned the name A to Z and the Doctor. That's another nickname, the Doctor. And I'd like to also add, when I say the word God, what does it mean? Because let's be specific, because we are reinventing words today. I think that's kind of dangerous. It doesn't really give us a clarity of when we use so many different words and devices and things. So when I say the word God, what does it mean? It means the sun, the moon, the earth, every planet. It means every prophet, our center. It means every bit of light, every bit of expanse, and every living everything. So when I say the word God, I like to encumber and to be considerate by design. So when I say God, I'm considering everything to a flourishing beautification. So I'd like that to be said and known, because when someone says God, what do they really mean by that? Some people have specific designations for that. I want to be clear. When we define the word democratic, what does that really mean today? When I see voter suppression, just my opinion maybe, if you want to say that, it's hurting what we see in our voter ability. So where is being democratic in the word democratic if we're taking away the freedom to know what you think? I'd like to add too, if I become, I want to be confident. So when I become your commander in chief, I feel that anyone listening, you have to spread me. Please share me with 3 people. I'm talking about design. I'm looking out for our children. I wrote a book on this. And one question I answer about our climate. And I'd like to share that with you. Why not? I'll say it right now, because I'm not going to give you the punchline, and the book is free for those who can't afford it. So I even thought of that. Why is it 41.5 degrees if we dig down 10 feet in our earth, all over the beautiful earth? Why is that? It's called the mean temperature of our earth. Well, guess what? We answer that question, and we could remedy any climate issue as long as we all team together, because it is relative to this. And I believe it's way beyond what America represents. So when I see this, I see it's for the 7.9 billion people and only growing globally on our earth. And why do I add the extra 100 million? Because I love doing design. I love to be considerate. I love to have a cushion to add more than needed, because then you'll always have a safe ability. So that's a little bit about myself, and I feel very proud on what I have been given with the 14 licenses, 5 EPA certifications included within, as well as a certificate in hypnotherapy. When I had learned about IR, and those of you who are therapists and professionals in those fields, you understand me exactly, internal representation, and also what's called RAS, reticular activating system. And those things are relative to when we think or when we receive information. Let's face it, and one of these things are written on here as well, getting in here, but in the conversation, I feel it's perfect right now. Public information, 6 people own 6,000 media stations. When I got 2 of my neighbors to stop insulin, I'm not going to say how, but I listened to some very professional people who are documenting it, and as a professional troubleshooter, and I said to myself, what did they say? And I started putting the pieces together. A couple of years later, I said, I could do this, and I did. One of my neighbors, Jen, by one of my rentals house, I got her to grow out of being a diabetic. My hand to God when I say that. So who do we have that's running that knows in-depth science? This is why I need to be willing to give up my civilian life, because I demand my niece to have a safe tomorrow. And if you need to focus to someone else, then please let's focus on my niece, and we can all help my niece. Guess what? And that's every child, every baby who has no clarity of anything. Let's be rock solid in what we are, American. We are American. So within respect, I do have a diverse portfolio, and I would like to serve the public. I would love to serve us. And another thing I'd like to add while we're here, because we are cruising, this is all directly relative information. I would like to have abilities where directly the people are using social media, so you can give input directly to our government, our huge letters, our. So I think it's really important to be open to use social media, not just to cause drama. And the reason why I bring up newscasters, because they're so important. And I look at all for people who are in the middle, and how many good people there are in the police department who don't really like some of these things that they're being involved with, but they don't have any choice. So when I see the IR and the RAS, how are we conditioning people? Well, my comparison is this. As people, when we use advertising, what do? We physically advertise, and we use every race, color, religion. I love all people. I have respect for all people. I don't care if you're black, white, gay, bi, transsexual. I don't care if you're green. Bottom line is, I think everything sentient has a ability to be part. And I think anyone in a wise government is going to, without a doubt, include that you should be included. And honestly, let's be honest, let's be for real. Not only do we have to make jobs for you, but we want you to be part and make money off of you allowing a kitty. If I was the commander in chief at this point in time, I would have had several $trillion. I would have had every hospital have a vacuum sealed every floor, one floor in the sub basements. So even if it got wet, it wouldn't hurt anything. Guess what? You got a flood, so what? It'll flood around it. It's a vacuum sealed room. And have tens and tens and tens of thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands. I'd like to poll professional people beyond my scope and like to take the averages of people and have rooms in every hospital that's prepared, and that room never gets used. So, and it's even possible to dig sub rooms beyond those sub rooms as they exist now. Why? American. This is what we have. We are the strongest population group of any nation. We are making record profit corporation highs. That's a fact. And we have over 1,800 billionaires. That's a record in world history, and no other country has that. And I've reached out to this list right here. These are all lists of all the billionaires that I've emailed about a year and a half ago, maybe about a year ago, and several times. And I don't understand one thing. Why have I only gotten one response? And you know what the response was? Don't call me anymore. Don't email me. Stop bothering us. So what I'm speaking of is relative to the Declaration of Independence, because how I've wrote it in my book as well. The Declaration goes from life to death, aka cycle is really a more appropriate word, whether you're a person, business, or government. And that's the truth. So when you look at every 3 and 4 words in the kinesthetic value, what the IR and the RAS is out of that document, our founding fathers tried to make an attempt. They took it so far and they waited 13 years. Why are you waiting so long for? And it lost its essence. Now the essence we can see has allowed so much this things in our presidential agencies and other agencies, and we're at odds with each other. So that's what I represent, and we've created was the Declaration of Independence Party, because when you see life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and the one most best statement I believe is why I will not be considered political. I'm so proud to say that. I think it's a new cusp. It's kind of like the gentleman, I really don't want to say his name, but he laid cables across the oceans before the internet even existed. He's now a multi-billionaire. When he did that, it was believing in him, is which I ask you, please think about all the things around us. And I want you to have faith. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli. I want you to have faith in myself. So when you consider everything, look at the conditions, look at the choices we have. And a lot of the things I'm saying, I think completely fit. And I'm abridging a lot of these things, but I'd love to have interviews on national television. But when this gentleman did that, to me, I feel the Declaration of Independence Party is a party that's joining all parties. And it's challenging the Republicans. It's challenging the Democrats to now, because we have a global pandemic, not just national, global. So what do we do with this? It's time to join. It's pretty simple, actually. That's why I designed that name to accommodate what I think a directive in which the Declaration says in the first line, quote unquote, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people, that's all of us, to join. So when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another and to assume them among the powers of our beautiful earth. I changed just a little bit, just a couple of last words there, but I'll just end the quote right there. But it's very, very, very interesting. It also says that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation, which means we need to use social media to follow the Declaration, to be the most American that we can, to poll people, because it also says that governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And I'm one of the people being governed, and I feel it's not fair, it's not right. My property taxes, my water has more than quadrupled. I'm being treated so unfairly, and we have no one giving names. When I spoke to some people, they wouldn't even give their names. This is one of the recent rentals that I'm also a real estate entrepreneur, also part of a theater, that no one signed this document, and it says office manager. This is for someone's benefits. No one put their name, their contact information, caseworker. And why is it so vague? Why is this part of Social Security, second floor, 1510 Highland Boulevard, Staten Island, New York, but it has no name? This to me is troublesome. So we've learned to separate so much, which we're not declaring the causes which impel them to the separation. This is a perfect example. So let me continue with my list. I think you got a snippet of that. So M, by design, I'm sorry, N, geographically, why is America confused? O, also, let me just tune in for a second in case some of you are just coming in. I can see a couple people just came in. So we're reading a list right now that we polled yesterday from our 7 p.m. meeting, and we gave choices. And upon receiving this information, we are now responding directly to what we have input from. And this is the whole list. So, and I'm bringing this up because these are all the things by design that are part of a consideration. And how I see it, when you talk about design, it would include everything you've thought of. And ahead of time, when you start to see design, you'd feel confident. You'd feel comfortable as a new resolve within this beautiful country that we are, no question about it. So design is very key. Just like in real estate, what's the three most important things? Well, in America, I'd like to formate the new crafting of what's important. What's the most important thing to be considerate of in America? Design, design, and design. So in the three designs, it's the most important thing. Why? All of you would see crystal clear of relative of things you were concerned to be included. Senior citizens included, climate included, global relations, nuclear wars included, defunding the police department included. Everything on this list is a joke compared to the list of when you see design. It's incredible. I'd like to take the moment and just briefly just show you that as one of my licenses why I am proficient, and I'd like to proclaim I need to be the president of the United States. I want you to have faith in me. I love and I care for all of us. In fact, before I show you this, in the pandemic, for all of you who are single, I'd like to take a moment and do a group hug. Everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. Group hug. For our armed force services, people who are retarded, don't know any better. For our children who are so cute, you want to hold them. For all the people, for the grandmothers and grandfathers, mwah, 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 I want to kiss you on your cheek 100 times. These are the love and the considerations that design would also be part of. Any president coming in, always, let's be honest, people are going to die under that person. If you're sentient and you're considerate, do you want that? No. Guess what? It has to be talked about. It has to be part of what we accept. I'm not going to go any further than that. But it's a fact that when you do this, you have to be willing to accept that. So while I have heart on one side, a wise, strong heart, the people who are going to mess with us, you're going to pull out the part of me that's street, because that doesn't need to be professional. Although delegative, professionally, give a couple opportunities. Let's see what happens. You don't want to do the right thing. You got to go. How's that going to be? I don't know. Each case is different. So this is what I want to show that would have been on posted, but we can't get it up. So we had some technical issues, and that's okay. This is one of the designs that I had. I'm part of a movie theater on Staten Island, and it's a 40,000 square foot building. And this is my doing. I had someone sit in my office. One of my other younger partners, he tried for 3 years. We're waiting for a blueprint to be done. One of my architect's friends come in. I'm into architectural. I have different designs. Imagination, I think, is important, because when you use your imagination, it makes you think of other things. And then when you have a sentient thought, you come to a locked in ideas. I can't tell you how many inventions I've done and created. I am a master of physics in several right. I have 14 licenses that actually back that up. So with the respect of who I am, this is what America needs. We need someone who knows science and business together. I am that. Please have faith in me. I ask you. I demand our earth be safe for everyone. So you should just say you want it. That's all there is to it. So please is not even relative. It's a requirement, I think, from any government to provide 50, 100 years safe without even thinking about it. It should be evident. And why? The Declaration of Independence says it. It's a mother guide document. Either we forgot or bypassed her, but the Constitution does not model the Declaration. And that's why I'm here. I'd like to add that. I'd like to reframe our Constitution. That is what I stand for. That is the most important thing I could say. In the Declaration of Independence Party, as joins all parties, we need to have a design. The design needs to be implemented into the Constitution. The Constitution gets implemented in all different branches. What are all different branches? This is what I did just on pen as only a preliminary. So this, as far as what we see as design as a first layout, and let me just bring this a little bit closer to the camera. So this, as you could see, is a theater, and in short, so here's the mezzanine area over here. Here's where the stage is. Here's the stars that are outside. This was my idea, to put stars on the inside. There's a 150-foot bar in here somewhere. I can't find it backwards, but this is part of the mezzanine. So this is part of it. And then when you get to the second part of it, what do you then have is it breaks down and it gets technical. So this would be like the plumbing riser diagrams and how many different fixtures there would be, where they're located. This is part of what is the difference is we don't see any design. Guess what? If I show any architect that, they already can see this done just like that. That's how I would like all of you to feel, to see the design, feeling confident. What is America? Guess what? We got a plan. Can you imagine a football team going out there and having no game plan? Oh, listen, don't worry about it. Just run over the field. What? That's not going to happen. You know, they'll have plans, A7, C4, D3, ready, hop, let's go. And everyone knows what to do. And boom, 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 boom. And everyone is like a regiment. Can any one person attack what needs to be done? No. Can anyone, one army person, win a war? No. But guess what? Everyone can together, and we are that. I want to make a new family team, Team USA, America family. So this is what I did, was to show in such a way. Let me bring this closer as well. Let me just give you a breakdown first. So in short, and I have a little surprise coming up. I didn't forget that, by the way, for anyone just joining now. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli. I'm running for the president, human, of the United States. And I say that with making fun of it, because I just feel people considering are homeless and all these things would be part of a design to remedy these things. We are the richest nation on the face of the globe. Record profit corporation highs 5 to 7 years. I expect to be fact checked. I demand it, because then when you see on a design and who said how many things right, and you see my intention, you see my passion, and then I feel you're going to say, okay, well, guess what? Who's the person who broke it down, who said the plan and showed us? Charles Richard Zarelli. He also recrafted the Declaration of Independence Party, joining all parties, challenging the Democrats, challenging the Republicans. When do we have this? We need to have something like this. It makes a balance. So this is what I did. So this, in short, when you see, so the master, whoever it would be the president. They represent what the government really is. And then you have your executive branch, legislative, and the judiciary. One goes into the other, they all affect the other, no question about it. And then through that, supplies end up coming through America, as well as litigation and everything, including administrative, superficial, supervisory, and main supervisory. Every level with the computers we have today could be graphed out. We need to have some form of audit that is relative to be able to show to the people, look, this is where it is. I feel it would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of you feel comfortable. And we have to be paused when I think, when I say this, please. The rich of America, we have to show them appreciation. We have to give them respect at the same token. Why? Although they're following laws, putting toxic chemicals, a baby being born today, this is a fact, has over 200 toxic chemicals from birth from her mother's umbilical cord. Is this okay with you? Is there something wrong with this picture? Where is the design? I don't accept this. Like one of the past presidents says, and Dana Carvey would make fun of him. Nah, God, da, not gonna do it. Nope. So design is very key. So let's move past that. So in short, the Declaration of Independence joins all parties. Very important. Let's continue this list so we can get it over with. So N, geographically, why is America confused? Most people didn't pick that one. That's okay. O, also, how to prepare for a pandemic and how to relate to it. All I can see is everyone's disheveled. Who's telling us we're beautiful? Pause. Stop. Everyone stop. Put the brakes on. I would like to tell every one of you, I look at myself this way, all my staff, and by the way, all of them are wearing masks. I'm more than 6 feet away from them. I just want that to be understood right now. We are beautiful. From my heart, I want to say this. We are beautiful. And we need to be told this. When I see beautiful women electing to want to be single, divorce rates at the high, let's talk about the statistical averages of what we represent as a human race. Let's, no words right now, stop. Let's do no thinking. What do actions show us? No words now. For everyone, please. What do actions show us? We are disheveled as a civilization. Got to be honest. Are you going to let that happen? You're going to sit back and do nothing? Please don't do that. Get the heck up off your seat. Get involved with something, because someone is going to show you a directive for respect, that we are beautiful. Please join me. Don't just innocently say, well, I don't know. My first gear and my course of action is to track the people who have been turned off, to bring you back in. I want to turn you back on. And I mean that with every cell, every fiber of my body. And when I say that, it's interesting, because these are the people who I'm going to be putting on my website. And these are some of my mentors. And I love it because when you hear these people, these are quantum physicists and scientists. And being I'm so science, I've always loved science. The things that I've invented and came up with and other people have expanded with me, I definitely have to give them credit. I might have thought of A and B, and they said, well, you put C in it. Now we got A, B, C, and it's better than what I thought of too. Where's the credit? Let's bring us together. Let's tell us we're beautiful. So these are some of the people that I love. I'm amazing as far as some of these are heroes to me. Carl Lashley, Carl Prebrum, Wilder Penfield, David Baum, Niels Bohr, Mr. Aspect. These, I'll just give you one example because we got to move past this. One example, Wilder Penfield, who is he? He did an experiment in 1913. Please forgive me for the animal people. I love animals. I train animals. The last 4 cats, I got to jump on my shoulder. Come on. And they stay there. When you give things love, we listen. We want to be part. I don't feel our government's giving me love. I don't feel that we're having love around us. So I await for the media to get a hold of me and you want to pick me apart. Please be ready for that. I'm ready for that. But we're going to get back to the media in a second. So Wilder Penfield did an experiment with rats, cut the brains out of them, and they made them run the rats first so they learned it. And they cut the brains out little by little. Guess what? With no brain and only the spinal stem, they were able to still run the maze. Why? Because it turns out we have a holographic memory. It's called non-locale of memory. This is a fact. So these are the people I believe I would love to adhere to the last sentence of the Declaration of Independence. This should make you head over heels. This guy has to come in. We need this guy. And the last sentence very simply states, and for the support of this declaration with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. Do any of you know what that is? Probably not. It says, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. I don't see our government doing this. I don't even think they know what it means. If I have to insult them, then I just did. Oops. I need to be this so I can fix it. Please, for everything wrong, blame me. You have no one to blame? I want the blame. Someone has to stand up on my tippy toes even further, and we take the blame. So in short, divine providence is when we escalate, means your spirit leaves your body. How did the Declaration mention that? Does anyone ever know that? Divine, everyone knows what divine is. It's a higher nature. Providence, when we rise and go above. So what I see is we need to rise above our problems and evaluate them in a neutral plane. Let's take it that way. Let's move on. Anyway, these are my heroes. They proved that we have holographic memory, extremely important. I would love it to be where we have the ability that someone at the top is looking out for us, even senior citizens, thousands of homes, tens of thousands of homes. I'm tired of hearing, not that they're complaining and wrong, I'm tired of them, I love them, but I'm tired of hearing the same complaint. Senior citizens are not being taken care of. Oh, I'm losing this benefit, and then my heart hurts every time I hear that. I'm sorry, this is not acceptable in America. We need design, you need to see it, you need to feel confident. Let's join Declaration of Independence Party, joining all parties. This is truly important. So let's continue. So we can hear some fireworks in the background. I love it. This is beautiful. So P, why is the Green New Deal not enough? Can I actually close that door because I left it open if you don't mind? Why is the Green Deal not enough for me? The Green New Deal not enough for me? Maybe it is for X, Y, and Z. It's not for me. It's not enough. I see more than requires than of what it's doing. And even though in the touch of the global aspects, we're not using the IR, the RAS, we're not particularly involving people to be enthusiastic. More than half of America did not vote. That's about 175, approximate, about 150 to 175 million people didn't vote, let alone voter suppression. So that's a whole different topic. Let's move on. So Q, why new laws for digital equipment is imperative for we are human going digital and why that matters. So Moore's law has always made electronics go forwards, and all of our kids, this is what they do all day. In New York, they had to make a law that if you're texting and walking, you can get a ticket because how many people got hit by a car. So these devices are mesmerizing us. So when do we take this and say, where by design do we find the happy medium to be beautiful, to feel beautiful, to be part of it, knowing that we're supporting America for number one, that we are, that these people who've helped us become number one, that they've gone and followed the laws, but has that really simmered down? This is what I see. We need to come to a happy medium. A lot of times when I've done inventions and different manifestations and projects, sometimes we always do things and we have to overshoot. And then you have a settlement come, and then it's very, very amicable. So that's what we're looking to do. So this is the list that we pretty much went over. So at this point, I'm going to come back to this, but let me just go over a couple of brief things that were from last night. We're just going to touch and go on them. 6,000 people on 6,000 media stations. That's public information. Why do we hear so much bad news when yet in TV commercials are showing us every denomination, every public, every beautiful person that we buy items from? And on the news, it's always bad news. 99, 95, you want to be amicable 92% of the time, to be open, to be incorrect, of course. 95 to 99% of the time, it's always bad news compared to all the stories together. Why is this? It's training us People are suffering. People like to suffer. People have to suffer more. Why? Because we don't have any self-gratification, no respect. Who's telling us we're beautiful? Once again, from my heart to all of you, we are beautiful. We are American. Let's continue. So I believe laws need to be made on digital stuff to protect us, as well as it's causing some disturbances across the board. Other things, I don't want to go there. That's not why we're here. But these are things that are on my mind by design. These need to be considered. They should have sacred honor, which means the right things are done for you behind your back and you don't even know it. How about that? So I love it. We're hearing fireworks in the background. This is beautiful. Nothing could be better to speak to America and hear fireworks on the 4th of July. This is why I wanted to do this today. So I believe we could have a better America, a better life, a better appreciation, and have people be more amicable when we learn how much bad news we're showing them and you become it. You know, when you do something, you stop a diet or you want to go on a diet, whatever your habit is, and you want to stop it, you train yourself for 2 weeks and you start doing it. What happens when you don't stop watching the news and you become that? I'm not saying stop, don't stop any business, go about your things. Leave it up to someone like myself with sacred honor, which means we're doing the right things. You don't even know it. And then all of a sudden you see them start to change and they start to change and they start to change. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, wow. That's what I want to do with the licenses, and by knowing design is what I definitely want to accomplish. So in short, 6,000 people own 6,000 media stations. This is something I think is well worth being addressed because of how they can control what it is that we impress ourselves with, and we get habits of that. In short, I demand 5,100 years safe ahead of us. No question. The Declaration of Independence says it: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and safety and happiness. Let me ask this question for those who think of our climate. Now, we don't want to say whether it is or isn't real. Why? I demand having our declaration match our Constitution, which would make any thought of a problem be illegal. Who said this? By design, it would be. Reframing our Constitution is key. So once again, so having 5,100 should always be. The 6,000 people own 6,000 media stations who are owned by 2 to 6 people. This is common. Is it considered a monopoly? But fine, whatever it is not the point. The point is it conditions us. That should be regulated to a degree because it's already understood we are conditioned by what we do. Let's move on. We don't want to be part. Doesn't everyone want to party? Everyone's going to party today, right? 4th of July. Let's set this in an even keel right here. Today is a Declaration of Independence celebration. It's not the date we celebrate. It's the date, what it stands for, was it formed America. And although those guys kind of did some things and they forced people to do things for hardly any money, that was the wrong thing. That's not, I repeat, that is not what the Declaration represents. The Constitution might, but the Declaration doesn't. So let's move it forward. Let's go into the Declaration, reform, new Constitution, and guess what? New America. We are beautiful. I appreciate you letting me say that. I feel this is making me feel beautiful because just getting this out of, this is what people need to understand. And I feel when I say these things, you're going to see where it's not being done. I want to thirst you for me. So Charles Richard Zerilli here, for those who are just joining, the Declaration of Independence Party, joining all parties, and actually putting a little bit of a force play on the Democrats and Republicans, because now we're talking about something that's a global pandemic. When I got the 2 people to stop insulin in my life, I understand epigenetics. This pandemic would already be on the downswing if I was in, not even a question about it. We'd be secured, we would understand. Let's take it to a whole new level. All right, so having a part, take the Y off of it, you're only a part. You got no party. Where's the whole? I want America to be whole again. We need to add the Y of design into the part, so now we can party. All right, let's get that straight. Let's party right. So that's it. I think we went over some of these things, or the tens of thousands of hours that I've been as a professional troubleshooter, thinking about America just by design. How can we redesign? I've taken everyone's problems. I don't care what you said. I didn't take it personal. Whether I agree with you or not is not the point. The point is, what is the point? Solidarity, joining everything. How could we do either Democrats or Republican when either one of them are taking one side or the other and we're causing tribalization? When do you remove that? It's a natural thing as far as being a human. It's not a matter of you're part of a tribe and you're in Africa. That's not the point. Every human being. Why do you think we have Democrats, Republicans? It's always between 2 things. Why do you think you agree and I might agree and all of a sudden we banter? because everyone has values. That values is part of protecting our tribalization. Let's move on. So basically, the tens of thousands of hours I've put in recrafting the Constitution to match the Declaration, which is a document that already is existing. And I love being on 4th of July, hearing the fireworks in the background. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love all of you. I love this. This is great. I love all of you. Let's move this forward in a strong way. Let's go on. So I think pretty much what I had said yesterday, I mentioned in a lot of things, having fair balance, having design to absolve. Anyone who's hurt, are you suffering at all? Any of you hurt? I want to attract you back in. I want to make you feel loved and respected. So now let's get rid of this for the moment. So now I have something very special, and I have a poem I wrote, and that's what I have as a surprise. And I hope you enjoy this. So this is a poem I wrote, and I think it's about some of the stuff relative to America, and it's relative to the plan I've made. And I think it's very profound, and you can please be the judge. I'd like you to be the judge, please. I care so much what people think. That's why I'd love to make social media and have platforms where you can feed back to the government, and I would represent that to feedback. And I would tell you how many people said this. And I'd like it to be where we don't lie about statistics. We're seeing so many different things today. How come, here's the question, we hear news, how come we don't almost always have the same story? Why does everyone have a different story? Think about that for a second. Because there's no control over the news being vetted. I demand to be fact-checked, please. I love us. I see design. I see how to bring America together. Once again, you are beautiful. We are beautiful. I am beautiful. I want you to have respect for yourselves. I talked to a woman on the phone the other day. She didn't like her name. I could tell she wasn't happy. I just, no. I said, you have a beautiful name. I wouldn't accept it. She didn't accept it. I insisted, and I could tell she smiled. So this is what I like. I like people to be happy. From my heart, it's important. Let's make money off of us, but let's do it right. All right. So we are beautiful. So this is my poem. First title, pre-notes poem. This is called Next Step. Our past framers were a step first. 13 years past, the backstepped to worse. Whoever interprets our fair documents flex will set in place the next right and just sediment burst, is by trusting a new honor to be framed next to utilize a thing called design and its specs. So Zerilli now to be open with who was meant to be, to allow for what was shorted, new now unfolds openly with all to see. As we now join what needed by me done in DC. Now that was just a preempting, that was a snippet. So now we'll go into the main poem. This is title 2. And this is called Simply If I Care. And this is, subtitle is To Join My Declaration. Once upon a time, there was a place called Earth. Honestly, looking back, we don't know who was first. Well, if we really genetically, sorry, let me backstep. I'd like to just start from the beginning because I just missed a very important thing. Once upon a time, there was a place called Earth. Honestly, looking back, we don't know who was first. Some people say she was called the mother. Well, if we're genetically all related, for one, you were all my sister and brother. If I am on a train station and I save your kid, was that considered that it was a political lid? Today, we only see more and more separation instead of total non-political collaborations. As I see it, that I am not acting political, allowing my left and right brain to act more spherical, to allow our brains to be more balanced, as I implore you to allow this type of balance. So when do we mention the DOI? Only many senior moments are by the they called thy. But when we do join and be strong, Zerilli say, I think when we are threatened of our future and possibly life today. And then turn to the women and wives who always have a way, been the family anchor of our beautiful kids and lives today. To acknowledge that strength instead of only that spanker spanking of strives. So many of my friends are multi and black. So when do we acknowledge that back? Instead of seeing more and more separations by today's whack, to actually for real, to make up for that slack. Over and over, today's time. It is time to be strong, not acting like slippery slime. To join, to join, to join what's needed today, instead of they who seem to be considered by causing so much separation beyond per se. So it's time to be strong, be strong, be strong, which means to America time, time to join to remediation, to control that instinct that we rely on called tribalization, to now open up, join, stop that they separation. While Earth is screaming, while our ice is melting, we now need to return to that main answer to that declaration. Just for those of you who are just joining, my name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the beautiful president, human of our united, as I hug you all, United States. Design is very key. This is what we're talking about. I hope you appreciated that. So basically, in short, I'm looking for you all to go out and vote. Whether I'm on the ballot or not, write me in. There's a box. It's called the write-in ballot. I'm not stopping. In 2016, I made a video, and I had said we have a national, international emergency, making it a public debriefing. I'm not going to tell you what it was about. It's on YouTube. I'm going to post a lot of these things on YouTube. My website, Time to Join, TIMETOJOIN, Time to Join. That's all one word. Don't confuse it by the other ones that are separate and some of them are spaced out. All one word, time to join.us. Time to join.us. And for those of you who may watch and you don't have a computer, by design, I want to consider you, because there's a lot of people who don't use computers. I want them to have consideration, especially the senior citizens. Who's entertaining these people that they really don't have the ability, they don't get online? They need support. They need some care. What? They can take care of us. What are you doing about for them? I want to do for them. Believe in me and you'll be doing for them through me. Believe in me, you'll be doing for a lot for that. Believing me and we'll be doing for a lot for our earth. Believe in me and we'll be doing a lot for our societies, our longevity, our evolution, our consideration, our laws, fixing it in place, making a stabilization for us. Time to join.us. That's TIMETOJOIN.us. And I'd like to give you a phone number for those who don't want to go online. 718-865-8720. I'd like to give that to you again. I know how it is. Someone says something and they don't buy enough time and you don't have a pen and you can't write it down. Let's start from the beginning. Time to join. So TIMETOJOIN.us. I thought that was perfect. I could put my name there. It's not about me. In fact, in one of my modern global modern resolution plan of America, and I won't use the word I in uppercase. I use it in lowercase unless I start the sentence out. And in my book, I also wrote a glossary and how to use my book, because I won't do that. Why? It's about us. And I want to live what it is that I say. When I say the word I, it's a small I. It doesn't mean I don't respect myself. Doesn't mean I don't love myself. I care for myself. This is where we're at. On one of my videos, I ate dirt and I kissed the flag. In fact, I need to kiss the flag right now. Hope you don't mind. Is that okay with you? I want to kiss the flag. This is America on today. Mwah. In fact, I want to hug her. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. This is what anyone who loves America, let's appreciate. Let's show how to appreciate. Let's make money from this. Let's make new businesses like we never had before openly. Design would do this. You'd be excited. This would be great. And I'd like to say, I don't look like a Brad Pitt, and I might not have his abs, but my mind and my heart are, and I am very confident for us. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, and I'd like to give the phone number now that I've bought some time to just give it out again. So for the people who don't go online, 718-865-8720. And there's a special message on there if you want to hear it. 718-865-8720. So we're going to wrap this up right now. And I want to say, be strong, be positive, and be confident, and see it done already, because I do. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the president human of our United States. I've always created new niches, broken molds, reinvented. I would like to improve myself. Some of the things might not be perfect about me. I'd like to improve these things as you watch, and maybe we can do the same together. So I care. I love for all of us. I love our land. I love our flag. I love our soil. I love everything about us. And please remember today, be safe, be careful. Let's wear our masks, and keep in mind, today is a celebration of what formed America, the Declaration of Independence. And it stands for life to birth, from birth to death, no matter whether you're a person, business, or government. And it has everything laid out. And I talk about this in my book. So it's very interesting. Once again, my name is Charles Richard Zerilli. Please Google me on my website, Time to Join, TIMETOJOIN.us. And I love you all. Thank you very much. And happy 4th of July, everyone. Thank you.